Good evening, everybody, and welcome tonight to qualifying night here in One Hub Racing. It is season 17, and we are at the Bahrain Sakir International Circuit. Well, here in Bahrain, obviously, for qualifying night. This is the night which determines what tier you will be in for tonight. My name is Sam, and I will be your main commentator for tonight, and I am joined with Craig Senna. How are you doing tonight, Craig?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm ready to go. I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys can put up with their times, and yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yep, and we had the second to last session tonight. Bahrain has only hosted qualifying night 2 times in season 11 and season 16. Very different times, because in season 11 we were on F1 2016. Well, from what I remembered, it was season 20. It was F1 2016, and Beastas was the quickest driver back then, and then last season, of course, IGK Zach getting the fastest time here in qualifying night, which eventually put in the top tier. And we've had other tracks for qualifying night, including Austria, Abu Dhabi, Hungary, Spain, and Silverstone, which is also featured twice. 15 corners then around this Bahrain circuit, 3 DRS zones, the C4, C3, and C2 tyres are used. We won't be using the inters or the wets, since everything is going to be as equal as possible for these drivers, and obviously strict corner cutting is in play here. So with qualifying night, this is really a bit of big pressure on the drivers here tonight, as they do have to perform. This is qualifying night, is where they determine what tiers the drivers will be in for this upcoming season for One Hub. So looking at this originally, do you know any of the drivers in here, and have you got any sort of early predictions?
Well, I know Jordan used to race in him with a league back in like 2016, I think. And Lawrence D 1989 is my actual best mate in real life, known him for like 15 years. I know he can be quick. I only joined right at the end of last season, so I really don't know a lot about these guys. But looking at the times from the session I did in the first round and to the seems to be the quickest times at the moment that we've seen so far.
Yeah, and obviously to catch up with Zach, who was the quickest last season, would need a 24.9. That is a banging lap for qualifying night, and that was almost unbeatable. When they saw that lap, it was a shocker to the system. A really good lap from IGK Zach there last season, and I doubt it'll be beaten this year, but who knows? We could be completely surprised. However, these drivers, though, are some of the quickest drivers on the game. Some of these drivers, who knows? They could actually be quicker than Zach's time, with obviously the evolution at this point of car setups, etc., and drivers getting used to the game fully. So drivers could beat it, but it's doubtful. You talked of Lawrence earlier. He is very experienced here in One Hub, 35 races taken part of, 2 podiums, but still yet to secure that. Still yet to secure that victory in One Hub Racing. But he's had a fairly consistent ride, and I wonder how he will do in this qualifying session for tonight to get into the tier he wants to get in. And there's a bunch of other guys as well. White Fountain, of course, winning a championship in season 15, I believe, the Precision Tier Championship, absolutely dominating that championship. That may have been season 14, correct me if I'm wrong. And I believe Scorpion Hun as well has also won a championship. So really, there is a lot of drivers who have a lot of experience here tonight in One Hub Racing, and who have won races, have won championships, and well, we could really see who is going to be in the top tier here, because these later sessions do tend to see a few people getting in the top tiers more than what you see in the earlier sessions. So we're going to really see who is going to be possibly some of the fastest drivers in One Hub this season. Sorry.
Oh, definitely, I completely agree with you. And we can see now that guys are on a mixture of tyres at the moment, with the hards, the mediums, and the softs. I know some people wanted to go on the hard or the medium to start off with, because obviously the track is going to rubber down and the times are going to get quicker at the end, so they want to try and save the soft tyres to the end. But yeah, I think we're going to really see some really quick times tonight, and it gives me an idea of the real quick drivers that are going to be in the top tiers anyway. So I'm looking forward to
Well, we will have to find out. 17 drivers here in this qualifying night session. So 17 drivers all going for pole, all potentially going for a seat in the pinnacle tier, which is the top tier in one hub. And with this, we have our first driver who's going to start us off with a lap, and that is Jonas Ulbrich. So we will go on board with him now, and we will start with this lap with a tour around the circuit. So DRS should be open. He hasn't opened it, I don't believe, but as we do take the run down to turn 1, braking nice and late into this corner. You can brake very late here, very tight first hairpin, then out of here. Be careful on the throttle, you can lose the car off the exit. DRS open, he doesn't open it again. This looks like more of an installation lap, but he looks like he's still going quick. Braking fairly late just after the 100-meter board then, and out of turn 4 again, similar to turn 2, sorry, very tricky on the exit. And now through this S section here, very tricky, very tight through the corners, and he may have been put off of that lap there, but through the hairpin, the sharp right-hander, then the double left-hander. Be careful not to lock up here if you are a non-ABS user, and it looks like Jonas is there as he locks up that front left tyre. DRS open, he doesn't open it though this time, obviously, like I said, probably just an installation lap to get himself going. And now into turn 11 then, a very tricky corner here, down to 4th, onto the exit. Don't go too wide, otherwise you could spin as well. A lot of places where you can lose the ball. Watch out for the apex as well on the inside. You could also lose the car. Turn 13, onto the exit. Try and get as much track as possible, and it looks like Jonas has got that. And now onto the straight, down to the final corner of this track, braking at the 100-meter board, just after it perhaps, and then good exit again. And there's a lot of traction zones on this track where you can easily get wheel spin and spin the car. Doesn't open the DRS, and initially that's a 1:30.5, but we definitely know times are much quicker going by what we've just seen. Samba Gaming over 26.2.
Yeah, I was just watching Samba's times, and I was just watching him. He was absolutely flying, and he's already done a 26.2, like you said. That's one of the quickest times that's been going on tonight. And other people flying him at other times as well on the mediums, but yeah, Jonas definitely must have backed out there because he ended up with a 30.5, and he seemed to be on lean ERS as well. But Samba with a very good time to hit the benchmark already.
Yeah, and Samba setting a really good time now. I believe the quickest time we've seen so far is a 26.0. And literally at the start of this session, we've already seen a driver only 2/10 off that. So this could be the first session tonight we see us get into the 25s. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't see the end of the 7 o'clock session. But if there was a time that did get into a 25, if someone could correct me. But as far as I'm concerned, the quickest time is a 26.0 at the moment, set by Arnold in the first session at 6:15. But we are expecting these times to close down as the night goes on. Schnitzel then off the exit, and he's he's losing the car quite a bit there. Wheel spin, and then across the line a 29.0. So a lot of time obviously lost after that last corner. Kind of half spin. Catboy Key on the hard tyres, which is interesting. It's not going to be a tyre many people would favour, but through sector 1 he goes. We're not expecting him to be at the top of the charts, but this is actually a good sort of research sort of tyre. See who's quickest on the hard tyres. LR Bryn and Jordan have set times on the hard tyres, so Catboy Key would be really comparing himself to some of them drivers. Bryn goes quicker on those hard tyres, which do tend to get quicker as the next few laps goes on. And we do have to remember, this is Bahrain in the this is Bahrain in the day, not in the night. So
sorry about Astronauts just lost it and flying into the wall. He was on the mediums himself. He's just gone too wide over the curb, and he's swung his car all the way to the right, hit the wall. Luckily damage is not on for this session, but that's really gonna not help him. But it looks like people just want to get a feel of the track, build their way up into on the mediums, and then they're fully gonna go for it on the soft tyres. So
yeah, and I was just about to mention the tyre temperatures. I'm not sure how much it will affect this game, but of course this is Bahrain in the day, so it will tend to be a much warmer track temperature, and the air temperature will tend to be much warmer than what you would see, say, Bahrain was in the night. Catboy Key goes quickest on the hard tyres then, and I said he'll be watching that, but I wonder if Catboy Key could probably exploit that a little more, because Bryn is up by almost 3/10 now on those hard tyres. But really, I have to say, it seems like this track seems to be one where it can catch a bunch of drivers out, but drivers are doing well so far. Only the one spin from Astronauti, and other than that, really had not many issues.
No, normally the main problem around Bahrain is right near the end of the second sector. If you hit that inside curb on the sweeping right-hander, it will spin you round. But normally what I've known in Bahrain is times are normally very close because there are a lot of straights in this. It's really mainly the middle sector is where you're going to really gain or lose your time. But it's going to be interesting to see how everybody else can compare with Samba when they put their soft tyres on.
Oh god, yeah, not many people would favour the soft tyres early on because of course the track has not rubbered in like it would towards the end of the session, so this could actually become a bit of a curse for Samba Gamer if he's not careful, because although he has set the quickest time on the soft tyres, he's still got a long way to go in this session, and now he'll probably have to do stints on the mediums or potentially the hards just to make sure that, you know, he doesn't use up all his soft tyres up immediately. Just have to wait and see. Bryn's getting held up by Scorpion here. He's not on a lap, is he, Bryn? I'm trying to find someone on somewhat of a lap that could be somewhat decent. I suppose we could look at Rich. Nope, he's down. What about Scorpion? Scorpion's down.
A lot of people are going back into the pits after their first run, and it looks like they're probably going to go out for a medium run or a soft run. So it is quite quiet at the moment. I don't really see many times changing or many purple sectors coming up, so it is quite quiet at the moment out there.
Yeah, well, one person who could be, I believe, is Verhanen. Verhanen is slightly up, but, well, he was slightly up, but I think he's backed out of his lap now. He's probably made a mistake. Or has he run out of fuel? I wonder. He's going fairly slow and he's got the full throttle on, so I think that is him running out of fuel. Verhanen obviously down. Jonas Olbrich is up through his first sector. He's on 4-lap hold soft tyres, so he's definitely doing... Well, it would be a race stint, but we're not going to be doing a race, are we? So, no real point here.
Oh, White Fowl has now lost it into the wall. He was going for another run of the mediums, and he has sadly just lost it. So, few people, there doesn't seem to be much grip on the track at the moment. Quite a few spins going on.
Oh, yeah. So, White Fountain, 4-lap old mediums already losing the rear end. And again, like I said, these tyres do seem to heat up. Jonas Olbrich on a lap. He was up for the first sector. What about the second? He's up as well by 7/10 in fact, so this is actually going to be a really good lap from Jonas. We did say that he was perhaps he was just sitting back for the first lap, getting to know the track, and you know what, he's doing pretty well on this lap. 7/10 up through the final sector, pretty nice for their DRS Open. What lap time is it going to be? It's going to be, well, okay, it's a
27.4.
It came up originally as a 39 something. I was a bit confused.
I got a bit confused because he was kind of lagging on my screen, so I didn't know. And then when he crossed the line, it took a bit of a delay for him to time to come up.
Yeah, well, for me, it weren't a delay. It was telling me the wrong time, really. Here's someone who's on a lap on new fresh sauce. This is Bush Lightyear. That's an amazing name. Never heard of him before. I don't think he's been in One Hub before. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the chat. But I don't believe he has. In the Red Bull tonight for qualifying night, a 29.8 at the moment. What was that set on? That was set on medium tyres, so we do expect him to improve very soon. As he comes through turn 11 now, very tricky. Don't go wide, you can tap the apex, don't get more of it though, don't mount it. This one again, you can tap it, but the more, if you do more than tap it, you could go round into this corner. Nice on the inside, didn't use all the track on the outside there, could have taken a little bit more speed off the exit, but this looks like a fair decent lap from the driver in 15th at the moment. Through the final corner, little lock up on that right side, not too much to hinder, already out of the DRS Open though now, and what time is it going to be? It's going to be a 27.5, that plots him into 4th place in this, but it looks like at the moment, no one is anywhere near Samba Gamer in first place. Over a second between Okeke and Samba Gamer.
Yeah, he seems to be in his own different league at the moment. We have got Clan coming around the last corner now, and he's on the soft tyres. And I think he's going to be very close with the other guys. And yes, he is with a 27.489. So it's very much bunched up from 3rd, 4th, and 5th, all in the mid 127s. Interestingly,
in the previous lap, Okeke did actually set a lap as soon as I said about the second thing. in his first sector, he did go purple. So he has a purple sector 1 there, beating out Samba Gamer, but the sector 2 and sector 3 look to be quite poor there from Okeke, and I wonder if he perhaps did back out a little bit, but I'm not too sure. I'm on board now with Schnitzel going through sector 2 as he's onto the DRS straight now, coming towards turn 11. Where's he going to brake? Brakes fairly late, a little bit of a lock-up, but I think that's just about fine. He's got in, and he's done alright there. Now through turn 12 now, and to turn 13. How close does he get to the apex? Hits it pretty well, gets a really good exit as well. Again, could have took a little bit more speed. Just enough speed to probably put him up a few places into the final corner, just after the 100-meter board, hitting the apex, going over it, and using all the track available on to the outside, and now coming across the line. It's a 27-0, and that is just fine there for Schnitzel in third place, but no purples. It seems that Samba Gamer still is fairly on top, and I wouldn't say fairly dominant, but he's doing alright at the moment.
Yeah, and Astronaut has snuck himself up into second place as well, the third guy to get into the 126s. So he's recovered well after his spin on his original first run. So, yeah, it's a very good lap from him. I think anybody with 26 has got very good pace anyway.
Well, Rich right now is going through the same area where Schnitzel was. Pretty much everyone I see now is going through this area, and I'm just tested to see if these guys are doing it just about right. Rich has done it pretty nicely there, and he's now coming down to the last corner now. So what's he going to do? He's going to brake just after the 100-meter board. That is roughly where you brake, so we know now where these drivers should be braking. DRS open. What time is it going to be? It's going to be a 27.6. Doesn't move him up too many places, but it moves him up fairly well. White Fountain, champion of the precision tier a few seasons back. Right now, he sits down in 11th, so although he has been retired for a little while now, it seems to be hitting him as he enters back to the track, and a good example of that would possibly be Michael Schumacher, of course, returning in the Mercedes, which is kind of ironic since White Fountain's in the Mercedes. Maybe Michael Schumacher was nowhere near his pace when he was in his prime, but, you know, we'll give it to White Fountain. His fastest lap was the medium tyres, but on the soft tyres right now, doesn't seem to be much at the moment.
But look at that, Samba Gamer with a 125.8. I think that's the first time I've seen somebody in a 125s tonight. So if this guy's setting the pace now, he could be in the top tier and a guy to look out for, and absolutely flying out there compared to everybody else in this session. Yeah,
that was a really good lap there from Samba Gamer, and we didn't catch that, but he's retaken his fastest first sector in the end. But yep, the first driver tonight into the 25s. This will put him in a very secure position to get into the top tier in One Hub this season, being the Pinnacle tier. Of course, we had the Pinnacle tier, Precision tier, Podium tier, and the Prospect tier there, and all these drivers will be bunching up, looking to get in whatever tier they can. And now White Fountain, of course, will be going on to a new lap. So let's see if he can provide a good lap. He looks like he's going to be on for one this time, braking rather late into the first corner, getting a good exit here, and short shifting up to 4th there, up to 5th and 6th there. So it looks like White Fountain then is on for another lap. He is pushing for it, now braking just after the 100-meter board into turn 4. Get the traction on the exit, and he got a lot of wheel spin there. And now for this S section, it's probably unsettled him a lot, and again unsettled so much here, White Fountain. He seems to be under a lot of pressure at the moment on those soft tyres, and I must say, due to the temperature of those tyres now, because of this track, it makes it so vulnerable when you wheel spin. I wonder if he's going to abort this lap. I'll be very, very surprised if he does somewhat of a competent lap. He may beat his lap, but is it really worth doing, knowing that, you know, you've kind of cost yourself a bit of tyre wear and your tyre temps are a bit more higher? I don't really know, but for White Fountain, that's probably screwed his lap up a bit.
Oh yeah, totally agree. I don't know if it's just his tyres temperatures either. Like, it just seems like the back end is very tail happy. Unless he's putting the power down, it just doesn't look very stable at all. I don't know if it's to do with several of the tyres or if it's just so used to not being racing for a while. But if it was me, I'd probably come in now and put a new set of tyres, because that's going to take quite a bit of tyre wear with the amount of wheel spin he's getting.
Yeah, and Jordan left the session. I'm assuming he hasn't left that on his own, but he should be back, I'm hoping. But anyway, Vitinho coming across the line. He was actually in the previous session, but he got disqualified for going backwards. But that was probably just another thing to do with the game disqualifying him. But we're not going to really talk about that. Vitinho, though, goes second place. And well done to him. Really good lap. He's raked that out really well. And well, just a brilliant lap, I must say. He now is probably going to come in for an in lap or prepare for another one.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on how Rotaro does because he's bottom at the moment. He's on the soft tyres. I just want to see how he's going to be able to compare. There's quite a few people out now coming out on soft tyres, ready to set their fastest laps with just under 12.5 minutes to go. So, and this is the difference. This put me off earlier as well. I'm so used to racing at night time in Bahrain that with the sunlight coming on the track in certain corners, it kind of put me off with some of it. So I don't know if it's the same for the others because I haven't played this game for a little while myself. I've been just trying to get back into the groove today, and it is totally different from daytime to nighttime around here.
Yeah, most certainly. And as we are waiting for the final laps to be starting, because we've only got 12 minutes left in the session, just under, it's a good time to promote our sponsors here in One Hub Racing. The first one we have is Next Level Racing, who will be providing rigs for whoever wins the Goings Gets Tough awards. So a very big reward you get for if you that is if you, I believe, do every interview possible, and obviously every race. Your attendance is 100%, and also if you're outside the top 3 of the championship, that's how you can win the Going Gets Tough award. Sorry, it's not the Drivers' Champion, so you can finish second in the championship and you can still win that award. Anyway, next one is Liam13, who is going to be sponsoring for the trophies in One Hub and helping One Hub secure its trophies for this year. And the third one is Vespertine, who is partnering with us to support our prizes as well. And also, let's not forget, Liam is a content creator. He is on Twitch, and he is actually he actually does F1 racing from time to time here in One Hub Racing as well. So go to Liam13 at on Twitch, and you should be able to find him fairly quickly. So that is all the free sponsors for One Hub, Next Level Racing, Vespertine, and Liam13. So they are the free sponsors for the season. Astronauty then, coming back to the action, he is out of the session. I don't know if he's done that generally because he's just retired in the pits or if he's spun on track.
I'm not sure. I didn't see Catcher there, but Rotaro got himself up to third before Verhaelen got himself into third place. So people are starting to show their pace now, but he still can't get anywhere near that 125.8 from Samba Gaming. What a lap that was.
Yeah, brilliant lap. No one's even close to it, are they? Let's just have a look then at the gap between them and the leader. And look at that, 7 tenths back on Samba Gamer. That's over half a second there, lead that he has in this session. And well, he must be some sort of contender potentially for a championship in the top flight then, because I won't be seeing many people beat that lap time of a 25.8 tonight, let alone get into the 25s alone. We saw Zach last season get into the 24s, which is another level. I think he was the only one, if I remember. Let me just check that. Looking at the qualifying night results, yes, he was the only one to get into the 24 9s, with BDG Louis in second on the 25-1 there, and not many people got into the 25s. In fact, only only 14 drivers got into the 25s, and if this was last season, Samba Gamer would be placed roughly in the top 12. So really, that is brilliant for Samba Gamer, even with 9 minutes to go.
That is very impressive. I was just watching my mate Lawrence do a lap time. He just backed out right there and he went very, very wide. It could be a popular track for him. You know, some people have certain tracks that are very, very quick round. You know, it could be a super qualifier. I don't know, but like, he definitely loves this track anyway, and you can see that he must have put quite a bit of practice in, because that's a great lap.
Yeah, there are a lot of tracks on this game that people enjoy, but Bahrain is particularly a favorite of mine, and particularly a favorite of loads of people. There's a nice rhythm to it. in it. And of course, people will probably be doing more practice because a lot of people do like to go with the times of F1, and obviously F1 racing this weekend in Bahrain. Of course, if you didn't see free practice 1 and free practice 2 today in F1, but people like to sit down and watch that, and perhaps that just gives them more encouragement for these laps. I don't know, but really, this is an interesting one. But again, it also just depends on if these drivers have some sort of psychological thing where they don't really care about it being day or night, or they have a serious botherment to whether it's day or night. Personally, I'm probably the people that gets bothered by it, because I would prefer to have this in the night, because Bahrain in the night just looks so stunning compared to it in the day.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with you. I'd rather have it at night. I see we've got an extra driver in, if that's right. TTG King. We have 18 drivers now. I'm watching Jordan, who sadly lagged out or just left the session for some kind of reason, about to finish his lap. But I completely agree with you. Night is so much nicer and better. And sadly, Jordan's left again, so we must be having connection issues, because he was just about to cross the start and finish line and finish his lap, and sadly, it's kicked him out of the lobby. Yeah,
well, that is a shame, and I think this is... I'm on board with LR Bryn right now. This is his first lap on the soft tyres. Right now he is 9 tenths up. This is looking very good for Bryn. He's got a purple sector 2 in fact, so very good for Bryn here. Maybe, just maybe, he will be the competitor we need for Samba, but I don't believe so. What's his sector 1? 27.8. Samba's a 27.5, so he will still be relatively down. A little bit of slipstream towards the end here. That is a fairly decent lap there from LR Bryn. Into second place he goes at 26.2, but a lot of drivers have been approaching that 26.0 margin. It looks very, very close in terms of deciding these tiers.
Oh yeah, especially around the top, like you said. You've got people in the low to mid 26s, and then you've got people around the mid 27s, that not including me. So it's very interesting to see a pattern and where the gaps are going to be from the top to around the middle and the bottom. We have got Rotara. I think he's on another lap and he's got across the line. Yes, he does.
Wow.
Just goes behind Bryn, but at least they're getting a bit closer. They're only under half a second now.
Yeah, and if anyone doesn't know who Rantaro is, that is actually Cloudy Balloons, which, I'm going to be honest with you, with that time I'm kind of surprised of. He was one of those drivers that would possibly get a podium in Prospect Tier last year, and it's good to see, actually, that he's actually quite far up the pace this year. So well done to him at the moment. Where would this put him if this happened last year? It would definitely put him in the mix right now to be in the top 25. So a very good lap, a very good progression there from Rantaro, otherwise known as Cloudy there. So he's put himself in a good position. Bryn as well, and of course Samba Gamer, who has pretty much been on top for the entire session. He doesn't really need to worry about that, but most people into the 26s then, and in fact more people into the 26s probably than what we had last season in One Hub, as Schnitzel cuts the first corner, obviously after coming in for his in-lap. But 4 minutes to go then. Do you expect anything else, or do you reckon that this is probably the grid that we're going to see towards the end of this session?
Well, I still think there's going to be some people who have just not been able to set a lap properly. Like, surely White Fountain is going to get a lap together at some point and go up the grid. I know Lawrence has started a lap now, has still not hit a proper lap yet, but I'll be absolutely amazed if anybody beats Samba's time. I just think it's not going to get beaten.
Oh yeah, I can't see it get beaten. You've got to find almost 4 tenths out of anyone, well, Bryn anyway, and obviously you've got to find more than 4 tenths out of anyone else on the grid. So very difficult indeed to enter those 25s in this session, and of course towards the end is where you should be setting the quickest times. Samba Gamer hasn't been out for a while. By the looks of it, he probably will come out for one more lap right at the end there. Haven't seen him on any other tyre though this session, which is interesting. I'm on board with Lawrence at the moment, because Lawrence, I believe, is the closest driver to finish a lap. There's probably 2 other drivers ahead. I don't believe they're really on the hot laps, but
yeah, he's set at 27.7, so it's not too bad for the first sector.
Oh, that was poor through there though, and I think he's lost a lot of time through that second sector. He seemed to be a little bit jumpy through there. He's still improved, but just around that corner it was a little bit funny there. But let's see what Lawrence can do into the final corner then. And let's see the exit here. A little bit slidey as it looked like. Maybe a little bit of oversteer or wheel spin. And I think he's just backed out of his lap or something there. And he's in 11th place. But that looked a little bit suspicious there from Lawrence, as he did kind of stop there. I wonder if that will get mentioned. That's interesting that we're seeing that. So, you know, if you're trying to sandbag like many people have claimed people to do before, well, Lawrence, you may have caught yourself out there maybe. I'm not 100% sure. Who knows?
He did say he was going to give it. He said he was going to give it his all tonight, so I'm sure he would.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how King does. He's about to start his lap now. Quite a lot of DRS to be fair, but I'm interested to see what kind of pace he is, because he's coming very, very late into the session. And most everybody else is in the pits or just about to come out. I'll be surprised if Samba comes out again. He doesn't really need to be honest.
I wonder if he's just going to get the dominant sort of thing where he just wants to get that quicker lap just to really make a statement on the last lobby of tonight. King J looking a bit all over the place here. He hasn't put a valid lap in just yet, but he's looking a little bit shaky. He's got no arms in that front, but obviously he most certainly, I'm sure he has arms to control the car in real life. Well, hopefully. He's taking that turn.
We hope so.
Yeah, we most certainly hope so, but King J at the moment doing alright on his lap, but he's looking very slided. That probably is down to the setup, more oversteery than usual, but as he comes through to the sector 2, sector 3 split, let's see what he's at. He's at a 1:05 here. Can I compare? I can't, because on the task system I am afraid that we haven't got drivers who do join mid-session, so that's probably not Tass's fault. That is most likely King J's fault for not turning up when he's supposed to, but we're not going to fuss about that. Yeah, he's a driver, he's here.
I was wondering, I couldn't see him on the task system, so...
Well, yep, and he has come across the line, and he set his time as 27.1 there from King J. So that was a fairly decent lap from him. He will have time to go again, whether he will choose to go again, because look how much ERS he has, almost nil. I wonder. LR Bryn is the quickest driver on an actual lap at the moment, so we will just try and get towards him. He's actually just finished a lap, so we won't try and get towards him.
I'm on board with Vic. No, he's 2/10 up on his first sector, 27.7, and he's only just a bit up now. So some people seem to be losing a bit of time in the middle sector near the end of the session. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the tyres are getting too hot now when it comes to the end of the lap, but some people are really struggling to improve their lap times.
Yeah, well, let's not forget, of course, that we have such thing called pressure. Vitinho actually comes into the pits then at the end, so he was not happy at all. But pressure does exist, and obviously in the final lap, it's most likely where it's most of the pressure is on you. The weight is on you, obviously, to set your quickest lap possible. And obviously, some drivers have taken that, and they've kind of screwed up their laps in the end then. So we are now over across the line then. Is Samba Gamer going to go quicker? He's just started his lap, so that's not worth debating about. What about Jonas Olbrick? Is he the next across the line? I don't think so. But I'm going to stick on board with him anyway, because other drivers are either on old lap tyres. Perhaps Kian, his teammate, is in front of him, in fact. So we will actually go to Kian quickly, and we'll return to Jonas shortly. But Kian is the closest towards the line now as he comes through to the final corner. Is this going to be the best lap time he's set? Looking at the trend, he's got green in both two, not purple though, so he's not going to be going quickest, but he does go quicker. Up to 10th place he goes. His teammate Jonas, is he going to move up position? Yes, he does, up to 5th place with a 26.3 there, so that's a very good lap for him. Schnitzel looking fairly quick as well. Samba Gaming is going to be another interesting one. Catboy Key has a purple sector 2. Where is Catboy Key at the moment? He's coming through the final corner. He's looking fairly quickly right now. And you know what? He may take second place here. Got a little bit of a slipstream there from Lawrence. It's a 26.2 for Catboy Key. The race winner doing a brilliant job there. Now here comes Samba Gaming, the final driver to finish a lap. Is he up? It looks like he is. He's purple in both first and second sector. And wow, what a lap that is. He's only gotten up by a tiny amount, but that's still a beautiful lap there. a 1:25.8. That is the quickest time we've got so far in the One Hub Racing sessions, and it's set by Samba Gaiman, so the bar just keeps getting higher.
Oh, it definitely does. What a fantastic lap from Samba Gaming, 1:26.8. Like we said, it just was not going to be beaten, and I think he's the only guy that's hit the 25s. I've not seen all the sessions at the moment, so I do apologise. I didn't see the 7 o'clock one fully. But he's definitely going to be a man to beat if he's quick in all the tracks for next season. Definitely a guy to look out for.
Yeah, and there seems to be a trend with Belgian drivers getting the top. Then in the first section, Arnold, who is Belgian, got top of there. I can't remember who was top in the last session, but 2 sessions, for what I know, has had Belgian drivers top it, and quite convincingly this time. LR Bryn with a fairly decent time there, with a 0.2, 3 tenths behind, no, Samba Gamer, who just seems to be a rocket in this session, but Bryn in second. For Hannon, the podium tier champion a few seasons back, in third place, a good showing from him. Catboy Key in fourth, Rantaro fifth, good showing from him. Jonas in sixth, Schnixel seventh, Jordan in eighth, Vitinho ninth, and Scorpion rounds out the top 10. Here is the rest of the drivers. If you were ever so pleased to see, White Fountain is a big one down there in 30th place. The old Prospect tier champion, probably not performing the best time he possibly could, and kind of a bit of a surprise. And also King J as well, turning up late. We all know he's been quicker beforehand, but right now he seems to be under a bit of pressure at the end there. So with that, that is the third of 4 qualifying night sessions over with, and well, it's been a rather entertaining one. And do you have any sort of things to say, about any drivers tonight, or is there nothing really specific?
Well, obviously Sam is depressed, with that fantastic lap. I was very surprised. I've heard of White Fountain. I've watched White Fountain race in previous seasons of One Hub Racing, and when I kept going on him, he kept invalidating his lap a lot. He just couldn't get a lap together. So
Yeah, well, we'll just have to wait and see when the league does get back underway then, for Season 17, of course. White Fountain is the surprise in this session, as you can say, a little bit of a surprise. Samba was the quickest then, and of course we move on to the 11th of December, where we will get underway for the first race of the season. We just need to wait, though, of course, till the team contracts open, which is in 2 days' time. Tier announcements in also on that day as well, which I'm sure will come before that. Teammate negotiations will be open then a few days later after that. But then we get underway in Austria, then a week later on the 11th of December, like I said, for the Austrian Grand Prix. And whatever tier me and Craig are in, we will most certainly enjoy the season. Whatever drivers are in, we'll most certainly enjoy their racing as well. But from me and Craig tonight, good night.